Hi everyone, this is Suhaib from MABRIK, and today I will be talking about Apiary, a game from Stone Meyer, who are famous for Wingspan and many other worker placement games. In Apiary, you play as bees, more specifically bee queens, where you're exploring the universe and colonizing it over time. At the first look of the game, it looked a little bit more complex, but because of how well structured and isolated certain actions are in the game, it's fairly easier to get into it and deal with each concept of the game one by one. On the first look, Apiary seems like a very complex game because of how many components are there. Though, while we were playing the game, we found that because of how they've structured it and how the actions are isolated from each other, players are given the opportunity to deal with each action individually and learn about it and talk about maybe if there are some quirks that you don't understand, and that makes it kind of easier to get into the game. So, talking about the game itself, in Apiary, every player starts out with a mat and a starting tile for a base, and every player gets to grow their base in many different means. Some of them are by using the advanced action to grow either farms, recruits, and development, and each of them have their own actions that they can take, plus some of them gives storage units or carve if you have enough power for the bee. You can also gain more hexagonals, your more structure, so you can build a lot more to go about. But the boundaries of the mat are irrelevant. You can have as many hexagons as you want, and you can go outside of the mat as well. The main mechanic and the action that the player can do once per turn is to place their worker in any of the segments that are being given. Each of the segment gives you a opportunity to perform an action. For example, in Explore allows you to move the queen bee to explore the steps equal to the number of the power of the bee, get the Explore token that gives you certain resource, and add a planet to the Explore. A unique thing about Apiary is that the slots where the workers can be placed are not reserved by the player until the end of the round. Every time a player wants to go to a already used slot, for example, grow, the player can bump the other worker. By bumping of the bees or retrieving the bees, you get to increase the level of your bee. When they reach to the 4, you get access to additional actions or advantages from the segments that you want to do action in it. But remember, once you have retrieved it once more and the level increases from 4 to higher, they go to hibernation. You are going to lose the bee, and you're going to choose one of your hibernation pods and put them in any segment you prefer, and you're going to get the benefit that is given underneath there. Once the hibernation com is filled, the game ends and the final point calculation happens. What I like about Apiary as a game is that unlike other worker placement games, none of the slots that players can go to are completely reserved, and at the same time certain resources or certain advantages are limited, so players have to choose which advantages they want to go for, so still allowing people to strategize and take resources they want, but not stopping anyone from doing the actions they actually want to do. Apiary is definitely a game that you don't want to play only once. The first time it is going to take a bit of understanding of how each of the segments work, each of the action works. The most fun of the game comes from playing it the second and third time once you and your group knows how the game functions, because then you can make decisions that can create challenges for other players and make better decisions for yourself to get the better victory. Apiary turned out to be a really fun game for both casual players and those who love a little bit of a friendly competition. And so we have decided to add Apiary to the board games available at MABRIK that are free to play for you. We hope to see you around, and till next time. Bzzz. out.